The Bear Who Couldn't Sleep. Once upon a time, deep inside a quiet forest, where the trees swayed gently and the wind always sounded like a lullaby, there lived a small brown bear named Benny. Benny was not like the other bears. While the other bears in the forest slept peacefully through the night, curled up in their warm dens, Benny often found himself wide awake. And not just a little awake, but completely awake. Every night, as the sky turned dark and the stars began to glow softly above the trees, Benny would lie down, close his eyes, and whisper to himself, "Okay, it's time to sleep now." But sleep never came. Instead, his mind would start buzzing with thoughts. What if I'm still hungry? What if I missed something fun today? What if sleep just doesn't come at all? And the more he tried to sleep, the more awake he became. One night, Benny sighed deeply and rolled over inside his little cave. This isn't fair. Everyone else is sleeping so easily. Outside, he could hear the peaceful sounds of the forest. The soft hooting of an owl and the gentle rustle of leaves. Even the distant sound of a river flowing slowly over smooth stones. Everything in the forest felt calm except Benny. He sat up slowly. I have to fix this. I need help. So that night, Benny decided to visit his friend Oliver the owl, who was known as the wisest creature in the forest. He stepped out of his cave and walked carefully through the moonlit trees. The forest looked different at night, so soft and silver, like the whole world had been dipped in starlight. Finally, he reached a tall tree where Oliver the owl was perched with his eyes half closed. Oliver? Benny called quietly. The owl opened one eye. Oh, Benny, why are you awake at this hour? Benny sighed. I can't sleep. Oliver tilted his head. You can't sleep? Benny shook his head. I try every night. I lie down, I close my eyes, but nothing works. My mind just won't stop talking. The owl stayed silent for a moment. Then he said gently, Oh, the busy mind. The busy mind? Benny asked. Yes. Sometimes, when creatures try too hard to sleep, their thoughts become louder instead of quieter. Benny frowned. That doesn't make sense. I'm trying to be calm. Oliver gave a soft little hoot, almost like a chuckle. Calm cannot be forced, young bear. Has to arrive on its own. Benny sat down at the base of the tree. So what do I do? The owl thought for a moment. Instead of chasing sleep, you should invite it. Invite it? Yes. Sleep is like a shy little visitor. It doesn't come when it's chased. It comes when the world feels safe and still. Benny looked down at the ground. I don't know if I can do that. Oliver fluffed his feathers gently. Then start small. Don't try to sleep. Just try to rest. Benny thanked him quietly and walked back through the forest. But as he returned to his cave, he wasn't sure anything had changed. Invite sleep? How do we even do that? That night, he lay down again. He closed his eyes, and immediately his thoughts came rushing back. What if I still can't sleep? What if I stay awake forever? Benny opened his eyes again and groaned softly. This is impossible. The next night, he tried again, and the next night after that. But nothing worked. Days passed, and Benny started feeling more and more tired during the day, but somehow still awake at night. One afternoon, while sitting by the river, looking exhausted, he saw a small fox named Leela. Benny, she asked, you look tired. I am tired, but I cannot sleep. Leela sat beside him. That sounds frustrating. It is. I've tried everything. Leela thought for a moment. Maybe you're trying too hard, she said softly. Benny blinked. Everyone keeps saying that. Because it might be true, she replied gently. Benny looked at the flowing river. I just want it to be easy like everyone else. Leela smiled. Not everyone is as calm as they look. But listen, when I cannot sleep, I don't fight it anymore. What do you do instead? I listen. Listen to what? Everything that is already quiet. That evening, Benny returned to his cave again. But this time, he tried something different. Instead of lying down and forcing his eyes shut, he simply lay still. He listened. At first, he heard the same things as always. His thoughts, his worries. But slowly, something else appeared underneath them. The soft wind outside his cave, the distant rustle of trees, the steady rhythm of his own breathing, in and out, in and out. For the first time, he didn't try to push his thoughts away. He just noticed them. Oh, there's that thought again, he whispered. And then he let it float away, like a leaf drifting on a stream. Minutes passed, then more minutes. The forest outside grew quieter. Or maybe Benny was finally noticing its quietness. His body felt heavier, not in a bad way, but in a soft, sinking way. His eyelids grew warm. Slowly, his breathing became slower. And for the first time in many nights, Benny didn't feel like he was trying to sleep. He felt like he was already resting. His thoughts didn't disappear completely. They simply became quieter, farther away, like echoes in a large, empty forest. I think I understand now, he whispered softly. And then, without even realizing it, Benny fell asleep. The next morning, sunlight slipped gently through the trees. Birds sang softly in the branches. The forest was waking up slowly and peacefully. Inside his cave, Benny stirred. He opened his eyes, and for a moment he didn't understand what felt different. Then he realized, "I slept," he said quietly. A small smile formed on his face. "I actually slept." From that night on, Benny didn't try to force sleep anymore. He simply let it come. Some nights it arrived quickly. Some nights it took longer. But he was no longer afraid of it, because he had learned something very important. Sleep is not something you chase. It's something you allow to happen. And in the quiet forest, under soft stars and gentle winds, Benny, the little bear, finally rested peacefully, night after night, and the forest, as always, whispered softly, "Good night." Thank you for listening, dreamy readers.